One of my little monologues again. Hi, Pete. Nice to still watch. I don't think Brexit is a very good idea. We're leaving Europe on the 1st or something. I honestly don't think Brexit is a very good idea. Do you remember World War Two? Question. Do you remember World War Two? When Hitler was conquering Europe, yeah? And Adolf Hitler invaded Poland, yeah? So, Winston Churchill started World War Two. Adolf Hitler didn't invent World War Two. We didn't start World War Two. It was actually Churchill who started World War Two. It was a fight for Europe, you might say. Because after Poland, when we were in the battle, sort of fight the war, that's where we were fighting for the French. We fought with the French. We were sort of losing that battle. I think that's why we had Dunkirk, I think, is because we were losing the battle against the Germans. We were losing the war against the Germans. And we had Dunkirk to get all the soldiers out of France, because it was being conquered by the Germans. But anyway, it was actually Churchill who sort of like fought back. And do you know, if it wasn't for Pearl Harbor, we would have probably lost the war. I think if Pearl Harbor had never happened, I think we would have lost World War Two, because we were losing the war, sort of thing, because France had fallen. By then, France had fallen. The whole of Europe basically was dominated by the Germans, the Nazis. Can you imagine that? We could be living in a Nazi world now if Churchill hadn't won the war. Have you seen these no smoking signs everywhere? Have you seen these no smoking signs everywhere? In your pub, in your club, in your fucking homes, whatever. No smoking here, no smoking there. It probably will be in your home soon, you know. But they can't really check on that, can they? Apparently they're going to make tobacco illegal soon, so breathe in, breathe out while you still can, my dear. I think these no smoking signs are like the 21st century swastika. Don't you? No smoking signs everywhere. It's like the 21st century swastika. Huh. Well, you blamed King's Cross on cigarettes, which is a load of bollocks, because there's no way a cigarette could light a bit of concrete. There is no fucking way. Because there's nothing really to set fire to apart from the electrical shit in King's Cross. I think King's Cross was caused by an electrical fault, not a cigarette. You know how many people go up and down these underground in King's Cross? Oh look, a cigarette stub. Well, it's not going to stay alight for more than a second, is it? I can guarantee you, as soon as you drop a cigarette, it will go out within 3 seconds, maybe 5. There's no way a cigarette could have caused King's Cross, for starters, you see. But anyway, yeah, we're leaving Europe. That's going to be more expensive beer, isn't it? Probably costs more for European beer now. But again, I drink Budweiser and Foster's. Foster's is Australian, Budweiser's American. I mean, I suppose things that you import from Europe will cost more, but I don't know why you want to separate yourself from Europe. I mean, what's the point of separating yourself from Europe? We got a Channel Tunnel, for Christ's sake. We won Europe in the Second World War, Britain and America. Basically, Britain and America won the Second World War. France was conquered. Poland was conquered. Italy was fascist anyway. And remember, Italy was a fascist country. Yes, it was. Russia took the western side. It was basically Russia, America and Britain that actually won the Second World War. We're getting out of Europe is a bit like locking the stable door after the horse is bolted, isn't it? Well, look at the immigration in Britain, yeah? Millions of Polish, which is fair enough. Fuck it, we liberated Poland, but they shouldn't get all the benefits. You know what I mean? We liberated the Poland from Adolf Hitler, didn't we? And Poland got invaded by Adolf. So, but we fought back. The Polish are alright, but I wish you'd learn our language. Right, I wish you'd learn English. Hang on, what gets me is, right, basically, the Africans have integrated into British society totally, yeah? In fact, do you know, it was actually a lot of it was a lot of Africans, I'd send, it was slavery we had in Britain and America. Apologise for that. But, yeah, we had human rights and all that, Martin Luther King, didn't we? So that made everyone equal sort of thing. But we also had a lot of immigration from Africa in the 1950s, I think it was, 1950s, 1960s. And yes, we did give the crap jobs to the blackies. Do you know what I mean? They didn't get the best of jobs for the most part. But they started on the ground level, like, in England. But the thing is, for the most part, especially with Jamaicans and all that, they learnt the language, they integrate it eventually. It took about, I read all that problem in Brixton, didn't we, in the 1970s or 80s, wasn't it? There was a lot of fights in Brixton and stuff, weren't there? You know, the black and white. But actually then, what happened was, music happened in the 1970s, late 1970s. Because, you know, actually, in the 70s, I suppose, blacks and whites were still segregated to a great deal, actually. In many ways. You know, sort of people sort of say, oh no. Or same with the Indians and the Pakistanis as well, when they moved here. It was like, oh no, there goes the neighbourhood. Do you remember that? In the 1970s, most towns were actually white, yeah? It's true. In the 1970s, most towns were white, sort of thing. And a Pakistani moves next door and you go, nah, shit, there goes the neighbourhood. Actually, my best friend at school was from Sri Lanka, Sudarshan Nalagaratnam. When I first started secondary school, the best mate I had in secondary school, first one actually, was my first mate at secondary school was Sudarshan Nalagaratnam. He just got off the boat, literally, from where his dad's a dentist. He didn't fix my teeth, unfortunately, he wasn't my dentist. What are you doing now? No, best mate at school. But he was actually the first Indian guy I knew. Well, he was from Sri Lanka, actually. Previously Ceylon, you know. And we didn't get any blacks, sort of like niggers, if you like, African types, till the Carters in about 1979, I think. They moved to Hatfield. A black family who moved to Hatfield. The first black family in Hatfield, actually, the Carters were. It's true. I think the Carters were probably the first black family in Hatfield. Really. And we had Asians came first. The Asians were here first. Then the blacks came. I think Carters were basically the first Afros that moved into Hatfield, really. Because I remember secondary school, when I was in secondary school, Hatfield School. And I think it was Ian Carter, I think it was. It was the first black kid in our school. It was a funny time. But the thing is, the blacks and whites integrate, yeah? We integrated and became one. But you still get this problem with Polish who do not speak English. You see, I've got nothing against race or whatever. I've got lots of things against religion, I must admit. Oh, I've got a hell of a lot of things against religion, believe me. Except I love the Jews. I'm very Jewish in my heart. In my heart, I'm a Jew. So the other religions that piss me off. I just want to home. I just want to be home. But the thing is, when the blacks came to England from, say, India, because actually Indians are black, aren't they? Indians are as black as Africans, aren't they? Some of the Indians are blacker than Africans. Some Africans. I suppose it depends what part of Africa you come from, because Africa's full of different colour chocolate. And I love chocolate. I only had one. I'm sorry. But the point is, the Africans, people who come from Africa and people who come from India, whatever, they integrated into culture, British culture. I mean, for fucking hell, Asians own most of the news agents. And off licenses. Some good tobacco comes from India, actually. America's very good for tobacco, actually, where you get the growing tobacco. Oh, I'm tempted. Not to go there, but what's happened somewhere else. Yeah, and I was thinking, yeah, but Africans and Indians integrated. They speak English. You see, they speak English. Perfect English. In fact, I'd say Indians speak better English than the English, really. Because actually, India, we used to own India. Well, Britain's, yeah, it's true. Britain used to be the, they basically used to run India, basically, until Gandhi, until Mahatma Gandhi and all that, and they had the revolution or whatever. It was actually sort of like one of the British colonies. No, well, not colonies so much as that. No, because they were Indian. But when we had the empire, we were sort of like the empire sort of thing, Britain, and we sort of basically sort of like, you know, owned India sort of thing. Somehow, I don't know the facts, all of them. But the point is, so Indians tend to talk better English than English. They have their own language, you see. They've got their own culture. The Indians keep their own culture. They've got their own culture. They have their own language and their own beliefs, etc. I actually love Hindis as well, actually. I do. And Buddhists. But, yeah. But they've got their own culture and history and all that, and language. But they speak English. I knock on doors. I'm a postman. I knock on doors. Donk, donk, donk. Yeah, go get blah blah blah. So what? And they don't speak English. There's a hell of a lot of Polish in England, living in England, and they do not speak English. Please have the decency to speak or learn my language in Britain. If you're going to live in Britain, please learn the language. That's just common decency, isn't it? Integrate, do not segregate. Well, you can have your own thing too, but integrate, you know? And then you go to Luton. And you've got these Arabs with them face masks still, hiding their faces. I'm not going to learn English. We're not going to learn how to live in England, no. We're going to fucking hide away our faces and hide in these little fucking burqas and shit. So you never know who we are, sort of thing, like. And it scares the shit out of me, they do. You should not be able to sort of like wear these burqas in Britain, like, you know. Hi. How are you doing? And don't even learn English. You get all my benefit. You get all the the benefit money. You get all the fucking benefit money, yeah. You get free houses, yeah. You get a free house. You don't have to work because you don't speak English. So you don't have to work because you can't speak English. You get a free house, you get all the benefit. And you live in England for nothing, doing nothing, because you don't speak the language. and you won't communicate. So how can I communicate with you if you don't speak English? Huh? Do not segregate, integrate. That's what I say. I've got friends who are Muslims. I've got no problem against Muslims. I don't have any problem against any religion. As long as it's these hardlines who hide their faces and all that pisses me off. I've got a lot of problems with religion. I hate all religion, most of them. Jews are alright, but everyone else pisses me off a lot. And Hindus are like, they're okay. The Buddhists are nice. That's not really religion, is it? Way of life. Anyway, yeah. But I'm going to lose my home very soon anyway, so I'm fucking shitting myself. I've got to find somewhere else to live now. It's not a happy time for old Bill, you know. Do you know the English language is not English? It was created by French. It was created by the French. Do you remember 1066, you see? This is why I think Brexit is a bad idea. Because Britain and France have always since, well, except for a bit of a split, when they had connections, you know? It's like our best trading route for starters, I'd say, Britain to France, Calais to Dover, you know. But the point is, it's kind of like the English language did not exist as it is today before 1066. I mean, watch the Open University, a history of the English language is fantastic. But the point is like half the English language is French, really. Circus is French. Celebration is a French word. Lunacy is a French word. Republic is a French word. Revolution is a French word. Cabaret is a French word. Carnival is a French word. All the entertainment comes from bloody France, doesn't it? All the entertaining words like carnival, circus, stuff like that. The English language is made up of French, Danish, and several other European languages mixed up together, as well as Gaelic and a little bit of Anglo-Saxon and stuff like that. It's a mixture of languages, the English languages, which is why I think it should be the universal language. Basically, it's basically the European language. I would have thought English would be this sort of like, because people basically, because all the European languages mix up to make English, basically. We got invaded by the Vikings, the Romans from Italy. See, a lot of our words actually come from Italy because, well, it's not spoken much now, but Latin comes from Italy, doesn't it? And Greece and all that. That's where Latin comes from, Italy. In fact, a lot of words come from France and Germany and stuff like that. And we got invaded by everybody in the fucking 1060s. Yeah, in the old days, but it's a mixture of languages which I had hoped by now you'd understand how to speak English. Considering most movies are made in English, aren't they? You know, all the Hollywood movies are made in English, and you like watching the Hollywood movies. I would have thought you'd learn the language by now, but you still don't speak English, so there's no way of communicating. Anyway, I'm going to lose my home now, so I've got to try and find another one. Good night.